Good afternoon and welcome to Academic Window's very first webinar on effective school counseling. Thanks for showing up today and let's get started. Sorry for the few technical difficulties we had initially. Let me tell you a little bit about Academic Window. Being successful in effective school counseling and preventative school counseling requires not only a scientific approach, but also looking at students' behavior and their relationships from different perspectives. Academic Window uses scientific theories and approaches in its practical applications, and it examines and analyzes students' relations with their classmates, teachers, and parents, confidentially, offering students insights on how they're perceived by others. Academic Window is a web-based, student-centered program that provides a preventative form of counseling with a follow-up piece. Its content and design and technological platform permit confidential collaboration among students, counselors, and teachers with the goal of improving students' personal growth and academics. The assessments can be completed in as much as one class period. These topics could be examined in 1 hour by applying the Preventive School Counseling Program. Yes, it only takes 1 hour to analyze the data. For example, the satisfaction level from classroom to classroom, school and parent, the differences between self-perception and a classmate's perception might be different from one another. So it can be understood what kinds of problems that students have. The overarching purpose of Academic Window is the facilitation of efficient and effective school counseling. Our web-based, student web-based program provides a preventative counseling platform with follow-up. Its content and design takes into account cognitive development, self-regulation, self-determination, and relationships. Since most of the time, teachers are reporting differently on the same student, one might continue to focus on this idea and project. Dr. Ugar, who developed Academic Window, started as a professor in the counseling department and worked with his colleagues as well as master students and PhD students. He conducted this research independently. Our program is now being used all over the world, including Brooklyn, New York, Canada, Denmark, Germany, India, Indonesia, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Nigeria, the Philippines, Poland, Roman, Tanzania, and Turkey. Its scientifically based applications are rooted in the theories of cognitive development, social comparison, self-determination, self-regulation, and the approaches and rules of positive psychology. It takes into account SWOT method, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and treats each student individually to become more self-aware and to learn how they are perceived by their peers and teachers. School's counseling sessions provide a chance to discuss what motivates a student needing to overcome social and emotional challenges affecting them academically. Our gold standard assessment incorporates methodologies developed by academia since 1997, along with additional research by our founder of Academic Window, Hassan Ugar, PhD. In his work as a secondary school counselor, he focused primarily on how a student could be understood well and how his or her situation in school could be explained objectively to the parents. What's in and what's out? Our software-based educational EdTech tools with the student behavior assessment can help your student, your teachers, your principals, the superintendent, and the counselors all to work together. In the past, a counselor would visit with the student, and the teacher and the counselor might have a chance to chat about it, and the principal, but they all met together independently of one another. With the pilot application, one of the greatest advantages is that everyone has access to that information at any time, including the student themselves and parents. Once the pilot application is put into place, which just takes less than one class period, then the different topics can be addressed one by one and apply the preventative school counseling model. In addition, teachers can get to know their students a little bit more objectively and fully and can track changes in their academic, personal, and social development, thereby helping students have a chance to have prevention put into place, motivation, methods taught, and to have more of a full understanding of who they are as a person. Often students don't know what drives them or doesn't drive them. And their self-efficacy suffers in terms of a lot of students have learned helplessness. By helping students to have an awareness, by scaling their opinions on questionnaires, it allows us to analyze the relationships of students in detail from different perspectives. The software application goes very deep into asking students different questions, and all of those questions put together are also addressed by teachers, counselors, principals, and parents. All of that together comes together to help us to analyze the data and help the student the best we can. Our mission is to develop the student self-awareness and their consciousness through this online collaborative learning environment platform. This includes an educational participants and provides schools with the tools to use to perform effective school counseling, to motivate school counselors, students, and their classmates, teachers, and parents to work collaboratively along with their classmates, their teachers, and their parents by using this tool developed by Academic Window. Our goal is to create such an effective school counseling environment that people that have used our pilot program have said that is the Academic Window's platform is the gold standard in advancement in school counseling. So much so that it's been recognized for its potential and the holistic education of students. Without this tool, behavior continues to impede learning. In-school suspensions continue. Out-of-school suspensions continue. Behavior continues to impede learning, and so on and so forth. And as you can see from this slide, the balance isn't quite where we'd like it to be. So we're hoping to increase that by using the tool. So in other words, once again, before we go on to the next slide, just to be clear, the tool itself, the software itself goes into more specifically, students' relationships with their peers, with their counselors, with their teachers, and their parents. So they're answering questions based on their own opinions. They give their opinions about their own academic and social success from the student's point of view. Therefore, the computer program goes through and flags potential SEL zones, the social emotional learning zones. It monitors that level from that point forward in the classroom, in the school itself, and with the parents. by doing so, it's able to identify a student's self-perception and classmates' perceptions as well. Learning about how our gold standard technology uses assessment data to monitor and report on a student's progress, we align with the following: self-actualization, the desire to become the most that one can be. All of us want to have success and be the most that we can be. Not all of us have the second thing, esteem, the esteem to be where we want to be. That takes respect. It needs to go back and forth, not just from student to teacher, but from teacher to student. A child needs to have self-esteem. They need to feel like they have status. They need to be recognized for the things that they do well. They need to have someone notice their strengths and know what their strengths are. Many students don't know what their strengths are. And they need to have the freedom to just explore and discover when they're involved in their academics. They need to have a sense of love and a sense of belonging, friendship, family, a sense of connection to their community, to their school. And parents too, in schools that are lacking parents showing up for parent-teacher conferences. Why is that? There's a disconnect there. So this tool helps parents to become more connected to their school as well. The software-based program also takes into account what a student thinks about their own safety needs, their own personal security, the employment situation in their family, the resources they have, how healthy they are, their access to health care, and their living conditions. We know from research that a student's executive function skills come into play based on that hierarchy of concerns. Our preventative school counseling includes solutions for different kinds of addictions, including drugs in schools. Recently, there's been incidences of vaping in schools and kids getting sick. The preventative school solutions may lead to potentially unhealthy addictions. So it's a scaled analysis in terms of positive psychology, and the Ed Tracker, the solutions are tracked. We usually track people for up to a 3-year period. We can track them longer than that, but we have some really good data after 3 years. And for those of you here on our webinar today, we definitely have examples that we can show you in detail if we were to get together in person. Not only that, but once you do a pilot program, we can show you the data on your own school. So if a student has an addiction, it's often difficult to understand the root causes and the reasons. But the following should be examined: the person's relationship with their peers, the relationship with their parents, the relationship with their academic teachers, and what has their social successes been so far, and what are their struggles? Do they feel safe in school? Are they being bullied? Are there mentors for people for them to look up to? Are those leadership programs in place at school? The level of psychological basic needs includes autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Academics Windows Effective School Counseling Program includes an innovative process, starting with experiments in Excel files to maintain confidentiality. It was believed that a computer-based program should be produced as soon as possible. Excel sheets only allow sharing with columns and rows. It's not a complete set of data that's able to give you a total and complete analysis of that independent student. So by taking into account opinions of principals, teachers, counselors, what they need, the gold standard in schools, mentors, counseling programs, leadership programs, and behavior management. All of those together create this nucleus that you see on the screen to produce gold standard schools. To maintain confidentiality, the computer-based program was produced, and it's now an online web-based program called Academic Window. Along the way, there were many research collaborations and articles written and published, and we have references to give credit to the many people that helped us to work on this program throughout time till we got here today. Superintendents often use this same data to track and empower their school communities towards school improvement, increasing confidence and peace in their school environment. Superintendents and principals often don't get to spend as much time as they would like with parents and students, but they want to be able to provide that transparency and make changes to staffing and have open communication between school and home. They're most involved with the administrative superintendents and principals, most involved with the administrative ends. But counselors, teachers, and superintendents and principals as a whole were about the same time spent on administration for superintendents and principals, the counselors 30%, and the teachers at 30%. So it's about even how everyone works together to help parents and students. However, when it comes time to apply those interventions with a full understanding of the student's problems in or out of class time, without the application and data from Academic Window, we tend to keep walking in place and doing the same things over and over again. And it may lead to natural assumptions of the problems and challenges the student may be facing. A lot of times things aren't uncovered until it's too late. Academic Window provides a detailed report to counselors to manage and then turn and train teachers and assist them in applying activities and interventions. It should be clear and known that interventions and approaches for each student should be different. These approaches and interventions could be arranged according to the levels of a student's basic psychological needs. The program is based on showing students their strengths comparatively and improving their self-awareness and consciousness. Prepare students by being self-confident and being in peace with their strengths. Students are also motivated to share their graphs, display their graphs to their teachers. If they share their graphs, they are then self-confident and have peace with their strengths. It may be the first time anyone let them know what they're good at. Students often like to share their successes. If they don't wish to share, then interventions in and out of class would continue without informing them as they wish. But Academic Window is the most recent advancement in school counseling that has been recognized for its potential, once again, in holistic education of students. We believe in treating the whole child individually. I'll be calling in a few days to ask for a time and date convenient for you for a 30-minute presentation to provide the demo for one of your classes. In the meantime, please take a glance of our programs in more detail at academicwindow.com. Research shows that social emotional growth is a key ingredient to academic performance. Please remember that students don't care how much we know until we show them how much we care. Thank you very much for your time today, and have a lovely afternoon. Thank you for spending so much time with us on a Friday at the end of a long week. If people have questions, I'm going to go ahead and unmute people at this time. Okay, one of our panelists said, how can we start to use this program? The tool we describe is not shown in the presentation. We can't show you in the presentation how the software works, but I can give you at the end here, I can show you a little bit about what it's like. Let me make sure that everyone is unmuted and allowed to talk. Okay. So consider the fact that the softwares on the screen, students have taken the pilot program. Counselors have taken a look at it. Teachers have taken a look at it. Students have taken a look at it. When we come and do a demo, you'll see much more clearly what that looks like. Also on our website, so we have a live question. The program seems detailed and better than traditional ones. Have the 21st century and student coaching principles been considered? The 21st century skills does come into play because part of the program is considering mentoring models and coaching models and leadership models. That's all part of the program's extensionary piece. And when you go online to our website, you'll see actual data selection sheets. Look at my other Q&As that we have. So we definitely have examples of what we've done on the website itself. During the webinar, we don't talk about anyone's data in particular because of confidentiality. However, we do have some samples on the website that includes some of the work from the schools that we've done so far. We just have names blocked out and have them there. It's best to do the pilot program so that you can see exactly what pertains to your students themselves. So imagine taking a survey or a questionnaire and how long that data takes, and it goes around from person to person. This is data that's on your screen. So it's creating a graph for each individual student and giving recommendations of what kind of mentoring and coaching leadership skills this particular student may need. Nasir, is there a pic of the interface of the software or type of questions to assess the student? Yes, we have a snapshot of those questions. Absolutely. On the website. There are examples on the website. Thank you so much to everyone for being here today. Thank you for your time on a Friday afternoon. It's much appreciated. Please reach out to us at academicwindow.com or to myself at mary.iovine@academicwindow.com, and we'd be happy to provide you an in-person demonstration for one of your classes. If any of you have more questions, please send out your questions. We're going to have a survey at the end of this, and we'll send it out to those of you that signed up for the webinar. You can grade me on how you thought the webinar went, some things that you'd like to see more of, some things that you'd like to see less of, and we'd like to hear your reaction to the webinar itself. We'll definitely be coming back and reaching out to you with more presentations and more specifics as time goes on. So stay tuned with Academic Window for what comes next, and have a lovely afternoon. Thanks for spending time with us at Academic Window. Talk to you soon.